And I want it to be our next speaker. His name is Wes Riddle. He's the director of the Texas Republican Freedom Coalition, a grassroots candidate for U.S. Congress, District 25. Founder of the Central Texas Tea Party. He's primarily interested in building conservative coalitions, supporting limited government, constitutional government, states' rights, federalism, and the Second Amendment of the Constitution. He lives in Belton, Texas, where he publishes his weekly conservative column called Horse Sense in newspapers and websites. You can find out more about him here. And here he is. Folks, a man of the people, your next U.S. Congressman from District 25, Wes Riddle.
Thank you very much. I knew after Apostle Claver that mic up there would be red hot. So I took this one so I can also get closer to you all. I'm Wes Riddle, running for U.S. Congress in the new Congressional District 25. That I am not your typical politician. I have never been elected. I'm the only one running a self-imposed term limit of no more than 10 years. I think that we've had too many politicians already and not enough statesmen. I want to enter as a citizen statesman and leave the same way. But who I am is a native Texan. I went to West Point, was commissioned, served 20 years in the Army, retired as a lieutenant colonel, fought a Cold War, a hot war, was on staff at the U.S. Embassy in Kuwait when 9/11 happened, and along the way I got a Master of Philosophy degree in modern history. Graduated with distinction. Went back to West Point and taught 3 years on the faculty American Political Tradition and the Constitution of these, read plural, United States of America, and all the advanced sections on American history. I am here to tell you that the election of 2012 is a seminal election in our history. And I would echo the sentiments here that we do not have much longer to actually do something critical about it. And so we have to send an unmistakable message to Washington, D.C. from the voice of Central and North Central Texas that we want no more of this transformational road to serfdom and socialism. But we do want to restore the Constitution of these United States of America, including the terms and the limitations founders gave us in that document and expected that we would keep if we would remain free. Because no matter what President Barack Hussein Obama II and all of his executive agency czars think about the people's policies, the people do know better than Washington. The people have what I call horse sense. Ronald Reagan said that status quo is Latin. Latin for the mess we're in. And folks, we're in a heck of a status quo, let me tell you. How is that hope and change going for you? Are you better off than you were 3 years ago? As a matter of fact, a study came out in the Christian Science Monitor this week, said that the average family income is down by over $1,300 a year from what it was 3 years ago. That this is the longest and the steepest decline in American quality of life since the government started keeping records 50 years ago. The misery index is the highest that it's been since Ronald Reagan took over from Jimmy Carter. And it's hard to imagine how you could be better off when President Obama took over, this nation had a AAA rating, now didn't it? And we've got a AA plus now, and we actually risk being downgraded again because S&P didn't say they downgraded us because our taxes were too low. They downgraded us because our spending was too high. Moreover, when President Obama took office, there was a 5.7% unemployment. That sounds positively low today, doesn't it? Because we're at over 9% nationally, 16.2% if you include those folks who are only part-time employed and can't find full-time employment. He inherited a budget deficit of $400 billion, but it's at $1.75 trillion today. And since he took over, our national debt has ballooned by 35% to nearly $15 trillion, or $46,000 for every man, woman, and child in this country. Ultimately, there are some things that we don't compromise on. And unlike a few other candidates who have run and are running for this particular position, I don't believe that we're having a conversation to convince America about everything. Some things were decided in 1776. Everything else was decided in 1789 with the ratification of the Constitution, except as explicitly amended since then. Unalienable rights are not under discussion. The Constitution is not a living document. It is not infinitely elastic. It means what it says. The text is imbued with the spirit of the founders, the spirit of original intent, which is easily discernible from the primary source documents out there, including the Federalist Papers. But what we have happened in this country over the last 3 years is a government gobbling up the private sector and the economy. Private enterprise has lost 6.6% of its jobs, but government jobs have increased 11.7%. Welfare is up 42%. And can you believe it? 15% of the American people are on food stamps. Folks, we have also reached a point in time where 46% of the people pay no federal income tax at all. But 35% of U.S. wages are attributed to government handouts. We do not have to live this way. We simply need to stand up as free men and free women and insist upon the Constitution of these United States. And so I ask you for your support. I'm Wes Riddle. I'm running for U.S. Congress. I pray God will bless America and the sovereign state of Texas forever.